Most people fail to land clients for their AI business because they freeze up on sales calls, or they simply just don't know what to say. And in this training, I'm gonna go ahead and walk you through a 5-step framework called the P.R.O.V.E method, which will allow you to understand exactly how to lead high conversion sales calls, even if you have no experience and no clients yet. You're gonna learn exactly how to identify real business pain points, present your AI solution with confidence, close the deal without feeling pushy, so that hopefully by the end of this video, you're gonna have 10x more confidence to actually get in front of a client and pitch them your AI solutions. Now, the same exact document that we're gonna go over in this video, along with 50 other videos, templates, SOPs, frameworks, and scripts, is gonna be available for you inside of our free school community. The link for that is gonna be down below. So please do join if you are interested. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the video. In this video, we're gonna go ahead and give you a framework to follow when conducting sales calls in your marketing agency. Now, this is going to be more so a framework. It is not necessarily going to be a script. And the reason I'm providing you with the framework is, number one, we have another video that actually walks through the actual script that we use. You can get access to that down below, or if you join our free school community, you'll get access to that, including the actual script itself and over 30 videos on how to start and scale an AI business. But the reason I want to provide you a framework is because I truly believe that an actual framework is more effective than just giving you a script. And the reason that is because when you are using a script, it's essentially like someone says this, here's how you reply. Wherein with a framework, it gives you a general idea of what you can say in that situation. And then based on your niche, based on the client you're speaking to, based on what they need, their bottlenecks, based on all these different circumstances, you can use that framework and then make up your own words. And that's essentially the idea of this video. So I think this video will actually be far more effective than any other sales script. It's not to say that sales scripts don't work, but having a framework to follow is more effective. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get into it. The following is a sales call framework, specifically for those who don't necessarily have clients yet, but are offering AI voice agents, chatbots, CRMs, and paid ads to local businesses. Now, that's going to be the context of this video, but you can literally use this for anything that you are selling, regardless of what kind of agency you're selling, what services, or really for any business for that matter. So this is broken down into basically 5 points. You have P.R.O.V.E. P.R.O.V.E. Prove is problem solving. R is revealing the gaps. O is offering your solution stack. V is validating with examples. And then E is explain the offer and the next steps. Now, I made this specifically for someone who doesn't have clients yet, because most of the people that are going to watch this video, I assume, don't have clients yet. And usually it's really hard for you to conduct an effective sales call if you don't have clients yet, which why I think this video will be very useful. So make sure you watch it till the end. So you're going to use this structure to confidently lead any sales call, even without past clients, by focusing and understanding the business's problems, your solution stack, and then your ability to educate and consult. So the first is going to be problem discovery. Over here, you want to start the call by asking smart questions that make the prospect realize their business is leaking revenue over time. Okay, you want to understand exactly what are these problems, because most likely they have problems. And if you can highlight those problems, that will give you leverage when you are going to go ahead and tell them the solution and how you can solve for these problems. So some of these questions, making it contextual to someone who's selling AI services to local business, can be things such as, how do you currently handle incoming leads on your website? Or what happens when someone calls after hours or doesn't show to an appointment? Or how can you track and follow up with leads across calls, forms, or messages? Your job here is to make them aware of the inefficiencies. Don't sell them yet. Just get them to talk about it. So depending on the solutions that you offer, every question you would ask would essentially have a reason behind it. So for example, if you are asking someone, how do you currently handle incoming leads from your ads or website? If they tell you they don't have a way to handle those leads, they just do it spontaneously, well, now you have a way, you have leverage which you can introduce to them a solution that you offer. In this case, it could be a chatbot. In this case, it could be an intake form. All right. So every question you ask will have a reason, and that would be the reason for this one. Again, these are just example questions, okay? Which is why, like I said here, problem. So understand what is that problem. Depending on your niche and depending on the services that you offer, the clients that you're working with, you would understand what these questions are. Next is what happens when someone calls after hours or doesn't show an appointment. Why would we want to ask that? Well, if we're selling AI voice agents, we understand that one of the problems that a business has is going to be missed calls. So over here, if they say, well, if someone calls after hours, we just don't answer. Or if someone doesn't show to an appointment, we don't follow up with them. Well, guess what? Now you can go ahead and tell them about automations that you can put in place, or AI voice agent, that if someone calls after hours, that voice agent can answer the phone just like a human voice, and it can go ahead and book them in or do whatever action the client would like. Again, what you're doing here is you're positioning a solution to a problem that they are telling you. But by the way, you're not, again, as we said here, you're not talking about the solution. Here, you're just getting them to talk about the inefficiencies they have in their business. Another example here is like, how do you track and following up with leads? Okay, well, if they don't have a way to track and follow up with leads, if they don't have a visual into like their KPIs, well, here you can talk about building a CRM for them, which can give them a visual of everything across all their business, wherever all the leads are coming from, whether it's calls, whether it's forms, messages, so on and so forth. So that is the first, is going to be the problem. Over here, you are asking questions, okay? And really the idea here is to make them aware of the inefficiencies that they have. So that way that gives you leverage when you are getting to the position where you are selling your services. The next is going to be the R, revealing the gap. Now repeat what they said, but show how it's costing them. So they've told you the issues that they have. Now you're going to go ahead and repeat that back to them, but also add pressure to the pain. You want to show them how this is costing them. So an example here is, so just to recap, you're spending money to generate leads, but there's no system in place to follow up automatically or qualify them, right? So over here, when you tell them, it's like, dude, you're spending money, but you don't have a way to actually follow these leads. Like, you did everything to this point, and then you just like leave everything to chance. You're wasting money, right? So again, you're recapping what they say, and then you're showing them exactly the problem. And here you say that's super common. Most businesses lose thousands of dollars just because of missed calls or following up too late. So you readdress the problem, and then you go ahead and show them how much it's costing them. Okay. And again, your job here is to highlight how much money, time, or opportunity is being lost, and you need to create urgency. So again, here you are revealing the gap. They told you their problems, you're recapping it back to them, and then you're showing them how much time, opportunity, or money it is costing them. Next is going to be the O, which is offering your solution stack. And what you do here is introduce exactly what it is that you do, even if you've never done it yet for a client. And I'll show you exactly how you can do that. You can say something such as, we specialize in helping local businesses solve exactly just that, or that's exactly what we do. We help local businesses solve for these problems or overcome these problems. Here's how we do it. And then here you go over your solution stack, which, if you recall in the operational bottleneck exercise where we show you how to create an effective offer, you're going to already know these problems that the business has. If you haven't watched that video, I highly recommend that you check it out. It's going to be linked down below, or again, join our free school community where we have that. In order for you to take an effective sales call, you have to have these prerequisites in place. And if you don't understand the bottlenecks that they have, if you don't understand the playbook that you're going to be using, it's going to be hard for you to go ahead and conduct an effective sales call. So over here, given that you already did the bottleneck exercise, okay, operational bottleneck exercise, and you know exactly what tools you're going to be using, you're going to be able to articulate yourself effectively. So in that case, assuming that you already did that, you're going to tell them, here's how that works. AI voice agents will answer the call, qualify leads, and book appointments. So they just told you that one of the problems is this. You can tell them, we solve that. That's exactly what we do for businesses. We solve that by deploying AI voice agents that can answer the call, qualify the leads, and book appointments without you needing to be there. You can tell them that you have AI chatbots for instant response to websites or social media, a solution to the problem that they mentioned here, right? Lack of incoming leads. You can tell them that you have end-to-end CRM automations that follow up with leads via text, email, and voicemail without lifting a finger. So again, these are your solution stack to the problems that they just mentioned. And lastly, if you need traffic, we can also run paid ads for your pipeline, which, as we have stated in the past videos, guys, just because you're an AI automation agency or an AI agency does not mean that you shouldn't be running ads. What you're doing is you're solving for the entire gap that your clients are lacking in order for them to get the desired outcome that they're looking for. This is why I say AI growth consultant, which is essentially someone who uses AI mainly, but does other things as well. If a business doesn't have enough leads, why would you leave that to someone else? You could charge them a few $1,000s and run those ads for them. So you're not just offering AI quote unquote automations, you're solving for that entire gap. And if they don't have enough leads, that's a service that you can go ahead and offer them. So again, here, your job is to show how your solution stack solves the exact problems that they just mentioned. Let me go ahead and pull up the document that I'm referring to you guys so that you guys can understand exactly what we are talking about when we go ahead and say your solution stack. So over here, you have the operational bottleneck. And again, this video is going to be linked down below. This is an example for a dental clinic. You can see here, this is the problems that they face. This is the mechanism that you're going to use to solve for this problem. And then here you have your tool and tech stack. So if we go back to this document and we are telling them, here's exactly how we do it, we would already know what solution we're going to offer them and exactly what tech stack we're going to use and exactly how it's going to help them overcome that problem that they have. And that's because we would have already did this exercise, which allows us to create an offer. So again, that video is going to be linked down below. Next is going to be validate with real examples. Okay, so over here, even if you don't have no experience, this example is going to be, even if you don't have any experience, you don't need to have clients. You can use examples, demo walkthroughs, and industry proof. What you can do here is say, here's how that works. And then you can go ahead and show them a pre-built go high level snapshot or an AI demo. So we have other videos in our school community and on YouTube that actually show you how to build AI voice agents or NAN automations, like all of these different things we show you and exactly not only how to build them out, but how to create a demo so that when you are showing this to a prospect, even if you don't have any experience, you can show them in real time how that voice agent works. So let me go ahead and pull up a voice agent here and just show you, if let's say you don't have a client, you can literally go ahead and pull this up and you can show them exactly how that works. Now, we recorded a video where we walk you through how to build a single prompt voice agent. And if I, for example, was showing this to a customer, I would simply come in here and I can just go ahead and say and click test. And you can see here, this thing is going to go ahead and test it actually. Hi, Michelle. Yes. Yes, I'm looking at your property that you have on. I believe it might be on uh, Oak Street. Can you tell me about that property? Yeah, go ahead and tell me about the one. I believe it cost 1.6 million. I forgot the exact street. Just tell me a property that you have around that price. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and end it there. But I just wanted to show you guys, okay, when you are, um, even if you don't have no experience, even if you don't have any clients, you can still show them how this stuff works. And this is just an example of like a voice agent. We just went ahead and tested it right here. Okay, you can do the same, whether it is inside Go High Level, whether you're showing them automations, whether you're showing them the CRM, whatever it is that you're showing them, you don't necessarily have to have a case study to do this. If you're just starting out, leverage the fact that you have these tools and that you can show them. And again, if you don't know how to build voice agents, if you don't know how to, whether it's in retail, VAPI, Go High Level, if you don't have your CRM built out, any of that, check out the other videos that we have because we literally walk you step by step on how to create that. And that's really what I want to say here is that this is going to be your biggest asset. The biggest asset that you're going to have is that you can show them demos. Okay, you can show them demos. And as someone who does not have case studies or has worked with clients, that's going to be your number one asset. Okay, so please feel free to do that. And I would highly, highly recommend that you do so because imagine if this is a real estate client, okay, or of course I did this on the whim, but if I was really on a sales call with someone, I would make sure that I say the right things to this voice agent so that it responds to me properly and I can highlight to them exactly how this would work in their business. So that's one example. Another thing you can say is here's how other local businesses are using these tools to close more deals without extra staff. So, for example, if you already have a competitor of theirs in mind, you can go ahead and show them that. Maybe they have a voice agent already. Maybe they have a chatbot. You can go ahead and show them that. And lastly, you can say, I've set this up so you don't have to build it from scratch. We customize and launch it for you. So, for example, what I would do here is I can show them another one. Okay, so let's take a look at this multi-prompt, and we can show them exactly that we've set it up in detail. Okay, we can just show them like, look, we set this up exactly, and we would customize this specific to your business, including the prompt, the knowledge base, so on and so forth. So you're going to do that for whatever service that you are offering. Now, again, your job here is to shift your focus from do you have clients to can this help me? So again, here, if you're showing someone real life examples, they're not thinking, did you build this out for clients already? Right? Instead, they're asking, whoa, can this really help me? If I had a voice agent that can answer these calls and book people directly in my calendar without me needing to be there, if I have a CRM that can house everything that I need, if I have these automations and workflows in place, can that help me? And by highlighting this, it shifts the focus from do you have clients to, hey, can this actually help me as a business? Right. So that is the V, which is validating with proven examples. And the last thing is going to be explaining the offer and the next steps. What you are doing here is clearly showing them how you would implement this and showing them what the next step is. This is where you go ahead and communicate to them the price and communicate to them exactly how this would be implemented in their business. Now, depending on if you're doing a 1-call close or a 2-call close, let's assume this is like the second call where they might be ready to buy. Well, you can say something like this. Well, if this sounds interesting, here's exactly how that works. We're going to go ahead and onboard you. We'll install these systems, customize everything to your brand, and help you launch fast. Or you can say, we work with only a few businesses at a time to make sure they get the best results, because as you can see, all of this is custom. So if you're serious, I can go ahead and talk about the next steps on how we would go ahead and get you onboarded. Your job here is to create clarity, no pressure, and you want to keep it simple and move towards a decision. Now, in other videos, we show you exactly how to put together a pitch deck, because at this point, either the customer's not interested or most likely they are interested and they want to know the price. So at this point, you're going to need to explain the cost and show them what the next steps are. So we have other videos that shows how to create a pitch deck using something like Gamma, which would break down the cost, the different packages based on exactly what they need, and essentially how much this is going to cost them moving forward. And the second thing is having an effective onboarding process. If the client says yes, you want to understand like, okay, what is the next step to actually onboard them? We have a video that breaks down how to effectively onboard someone, because after they make this payment, that's going to be one of the most critical time in the relationship that you will have with your client, because they just paid a huge lump sum of money. And if you're following the protocols that we have in place, you're not charging $1,500 a month. You're charging minimum $5,000 upfront and then monthly. Okay, anywhere from $5,000 really to $20,000 upfront, because you are, as a growth consultant, you are offering everything and anything that they need. And again, if you want more video on exactly what is a growth consultant and how you can become one rather than a commoditized agency, there's videos linked down below. So you're going to want to make sure that you have an effective onboarding process, because if the client just paid a large sum of money, you don't want them to have buyer's remorse. Buyer's remorse is essentially the feeling that someone gets after they made a purchasing decision. They're going to say, did I really make the right decision or not? And if you're not onboarding them effectively, if you're not generating them the fastest results, in the fastest period of time, it gives them a higher likelihood of them feeling buyer's remorse, which you don't want to do that. So that is explaining the offer. Now, some pre-call tips. Number one is use demos. Okay, so as we stated, use voice agents, use the CRM workflows, use what you have if you don't have case studies yet. Of course, if you have case studies, you can use both. But assuming you're someone that is just starting out, leverage the fact that you have voice agent demos, the CRM workflows, which, by the way, you should have already played around with so that you understand exactly how they work. The next tip is you need to learn niche specific problems so that you can sound confident and relevant. That's exactly what we teach you guys in our free school community, which is being very specific with the problems that a business has. Now, if you join our mentorship program, of course, we would do this, you and me, one-on-one over Zoom, but we give you the same protocols should you decide to do it yourself. And again, you can see here, these are all the problems that a business has. This is how you solve for the problems, and then the tools and the tech stack. So you need to understand exactly the specific problems that niche of yours has. In this example, we use a dental clinic, and these are all problems that a dental clinic faces or will eventually face. The next tip is going to be to talk outcomes, more book calls, save time, so on and so forth. You don't want to talk about the tools. So just because you're showing them the actual demo, for example, here we're showing them retail, you don't want to spend too much time talking about the tools. Rather, you want to talk about the outcome that business will get. In this case, it could be more book calls, it could be save time, right? So on and so forth. And last tip here is to be a consultant, not a salesperson. Lead with value. This is why I really push becoming an AI growth consultant, because as a consultant, number one, people will pay you a lot of money, but number two, it's not going to feel like a sales pitch. Okay, imagine if I'm on a call with a dental clinic and I'm highlighting to them all the problems that they have and then highlighting them the mechanism. Now, not everybody that I get on a call with is going to buy, right? But at the end of the day, I'm showing them the problems that they have and how I can solve these problems. Either they decide to work with you or they don't. Okay, so again, you want to be a consultant, lead with value by breaking down exactly everything that we covered in this video, but along with other videos as well. So this is the sales framework. I hope this video was helpful. As you can see, it is more effective than an actual script, because no matter where you are, you're going to know exactly how to continue the call, because you're going to understand that is the P.R.O.V.E method, okay, which is going to be a sales framework that you're going to follow to go ahead and conduct these sales calls effectively. Because oftentimes what happens is that we'll get on a call with the customer and then the call goes on a tangent. They start talking about this and start talking about that. And then we lose focus on like where we are at. We want to bring them back to that straight line, for example, as Jordan Belfort says. And if you understand the structure, regardless of how the conversation goes, you'll know, are you at the P? Are you at the R? Are you at the O? Are you at the V? Or are you at the E? Once you understand where you are, you're going to know exactly how to go ahead and continue that conversation in a straight line. I hope this video is helpful. Check out other videos on the channel. And if you're not in our free school community yet, please go ahead and join. Link is going to be down below.